Hi, this is Phil Leach, and in this session we're going to explore together the areas of figures of speech. Paradox. Paradox. A statement that is seemingly absurd or self-contradictory, but is actually true. The term comes from the Greek, meaning incredible, contrary to opinion, or contrary to expectation. Mother Teresa said, "I have found the paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, only love." Jesus in Matthew 16:25 states a life-changing paradox. For whoever would save his life would lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. As does Paul. In 2 Corinthians 12 verse 10, he declares the paradox, for when I am weak, then I am strong. Paradox. A statement that is seemingly absurd or self-contradictory, but which is actually true. Personification. Personification is when an inanimate object or abstraction is given human qualities or abilities. A contemporary example of this could be the Grim Reaper, this imaginary figure that is personifying death. And you may have heard the proverb, "Fear knocked on the door, faith answered." In this proverb, fear and faith are personified. Companies love to use this device in promotion of their products. For example, the advertising slogan of Oreo cookies that you might be familiar with. Oreo, Milk's favourite cookie. This is a fairly common device in Scripture, especially in poetry. In Psalms 77:16, we read, "The waters are afraid." Whereas in Proverbs, wisdom is portrayed as a woman. In Psalm 114, as we have seen, the mountains skip like rams, and the hills like lambs. Personification. Personification. An inanimate object or something abstract is given human qualities or abilities. Rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is a question posed for its effect without the expectation of a reply. The purpose of the rhetorical question is to encourage the listener to think about what the answer must be. The answer may be obvious or immediately provided by the questioner. Paul used this device a lot, especially in his letter to the Romans, and Jesus too. When affirming the provision of the Father, Jesus asks, "Is not life more than food, and body more than clothing? Are you not more valuable than the birds? And which of you, being anxious, can add a single hour to a span of life? In Matthew 6:25-26, the answer that is demanded is the answer of the faithful provision of the Father. Rhetorical question. A question posed for its effect, without the expectation of a reply, or the reply is obvious or provided by the speaker. Simile. A simile is an indirect comparison between two things, two different things. And you can tell a simile because it uses the words like or as or than. Even though similes and metaphors are both forms of comparison, similes indirectly compares two ideas and allows them to remain distinct in spite of their similarities, whereas metaphors compare the two things directly. As with all these forms of figures of speech, when a comparison is being made, it is not all the points of similarity that are intended. So it's not all the points of similarity that are intended in a simile, as we will see from this clip from Shrek.
Ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Oh, you both have layers. Oh. You know, not everybody like onions.
Similarities, but not on every point. We read many similes in the scripture. A couple of examples. In the Old Testament, Psalm 1, 3-4, we read that the righteous are like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that it does, we read, in all that he does, that is the righteous, he prospers. In the New Testament, in Matthew 7, 24 following, those who both hear and do what Jesus teaches is like a wise man building his house on a rock. But those that just hear and do not do are like the foolish man, we read, that builds his house on the sand. A simile, an indirect comparison between two different things, employing the words like, as, or than. Finally, Synecdoche. Synecdoche. Synecdoche is similar to a metonymy, but it's when a part of something is used to represent the whole, or the whole is used to represent the part. This word comes from the Greek, meaning shared or simultaneous understanding. In contemporary usage, someone may talk about buying a new set of wheels, when what they actually mean, of course, is the whole vehicle, not just the wheel. We may talk about someone giving us a hand, but of course it's much more than just the hand that we want. In the Old Testament, we find that it is not unusual for the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom, to be addressed by the name of the leading tribe, Ephraim. When Ephraim is used, it's representing the whole northern tribe. We see this as an example in Isaiah chapter 7. In Genesis 3:19, Adam is told, "By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread." And this is not just bread, but of course all the food that he would eat. We read in the New Testament a couple of times, authors speaking about flesh and blood. And in speaking about flesh and blood, they're meaning people, human people, not just these two parts of the human person. We read about this both in Hebrews and in Ephesians chapter 6. Synecdoche. A part of something is used to represent the whole, or the whole is used to represent the part.